day everyone. Today's session is about developmental psychology. In this, let us look into the introduction to developmental psychology, human development today and domains of development. The learning objectives of this session is to understand the meaning and goals of human development and lifespan development, to know the types of developmental processes, to understand various domains of development and to know various periods of the lifespan. The session outcomes are the students would be able to understand the meaning and goals of human development and lifespan, learns different developmental processes, analyze how various domains of development influence each other throughout life, and also know about various periods of lifespan. Let us look into the definitions of human development. From the moment of conception, human beings undergo processes of development. So, human development is the scientific study of process of change and stability throughout the lifespan. Developmental scientists study human development and interested in ways in which people change throughout life as well as characteristics that remain fairly stable. So, development is systematic, development is adaptive, development is lifelong. Lifespan development is a scientific study of process of concept of development as a lifelong process. The goals of human development are description, explanation, prediction and modification. Description is in the goal of description, the developmental scientists observe large group of children and establish norms or averages for behaviors at various ages. For example, when do children say their first words? Second goal is explanation. Developmental scientists try to explain what causes or influences the observed behavior. For example, how children acquire and learn to use language. The third goal is prediction. The knowledge about some behavior makes it possible for the developmental psychologists to predict which ability can be developed early or later. For example, will delayed language development affect speech? Fourth goal is modification. When the developmental psychologists are aware about the development of some ability, that knowledge can be used to modify behavior. For example, can therapy help speech delays? There are two important developmental processes that takes place in the human development. They are change and stability. So, the two types of change are qualitative change and the quantitative change. So, the quantitative change is a change in number or amount such as growth in height, weight, vocabulary, aggressive behavior or frequency of communication. Whereas the qualitative change is a change in kind or structure or organization. Developmental scientists are also interested in the underlying stability or constancy of personality behavior. Although various influences can modify various traits, somewhat they seem to persist to a moderate degree, especially in children at one extreme or the other. Broad dimensions of personality such as conscientiousness and openness to new experience seem to stabilize before or during young adulthood. Next is about domains of human development. Change and stability occur in physical, cognitive and psychosocial domains or dimensions of the self. Actually, though these three domains are intervened throughout the life, each affects the others and each domain is important throughout life. First is physical domain or physical development. Growth of the body and brain, sensory capacities, motor skills and health are part of physical development and may influence other domains of development. For example, a child with frequent ear infections may develop language more slowly than a child without this problem. Second one is the cognitive domain or the cognitive development. Change and stability in mental abilities such as learning, attention, memory, language, thinking, reasoning, and creativity constitute cognitive development. The cognitive advances are closely related to physical and emotional growth. The ability to speak depends on the physical development of the mouth and the brain. A child who has difficulty in expressing herself in words may evoke negative reactions in others, influencing his popularity and sense of self-worth. The third domain is the psychosocial or psychosocial development. Here, the change in stability occurs in emotions, personality, and social relationships. These three together constitute psychosocial development. This can affect cognitive and physical functioning. For example, anxiety about taking a test can impair performance. Throughout life, each domain affects the others and each domain is important throughout life. So, the periods of the lifespan are, before learning about the periods of lifespan, it is important to learn about the concept of social construction. Social construction is a concept about the nature of reality based on societally shared perceptions or assumptions. Typical major developments of the lifespan are prenatal period, that is from conception to till birth. Second period is infancy and toddlerhood, that is the period is between birth to age 3. The third stage is early childhood, that is from 3 to 6 years. Fourth is the middle childhood, 6 to 11 years. Fifth one is the adolescence, that is from 11 to about 20 years. Young adulthood, 20 to 40 years. Middle adulthood, 40 to 65 years, and the late adulthood, 65 years and above. To summarize this session, human development is the scientific study of process of change and stability. Lifespan development is a scientific study of concept of development as a lifelong process. The study of human development seeks to describe, explain, predict, and modify development. The three major domains of development are physical, cognitive, and psychosocial. Each domain affects the others. The concept of 8 periods of development is a social construction. Thank you.